This is not a position I thought I'd find myself in the first couple months of 2025. Because by this time, roughly March, I may have my game of the year already. My personal game of the year. And that's a little crazy to think about, but that kind of explains the incredible impression that one game had on me. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Expedition 33 gave out preview demos of the game with a few hours of content to play. And holy shit, I was blown away. There really isn't any other way to put it. I did not want to put this game down. I did not want it to end. It revitalized a love for JRPG type games that I thought I had lost. But you see, I already had high expectations for Expedition 33, and yet somehow it still exceeded them. From visuals to music to combat, and especially the story and mocap animations. And we're gonna talk about all of it, except the story, because those last parts, the story and the acting and the mocap, I want to preserve that for you. So we're not really going to talk too much about it. There will be no big spoilers in this from the preview demo that I got. Instead, we're going to talk mostly about the visuals, the combat, how the turn-based combat with QTEs actually works and why it feels good, like things like gearing and world exploration, those kind of things, the things that are not story related. But at the same time, if you are looking to avoid any kind of like spoilers at all, because I will be using B-roll and a couple different scenes here and there that are not like deep story related, like this is your exit ramp. I appreciate you being here, but I also want to preserve the game for you. So here is your little exit, because in about 2 seconds, I'm going to show a reaction clip of me reacting to the start of the story, but I will crop out the story. So here's your exit. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is the debut title of Sandfall Interactive, a JRPG-like RPG with turn-based combat that makes calculated use of QTEs to make the combat feel just a little bit more engaging. It follows an intriguing story full of mystery, death, and heartbreak, as another expedition is sent to disrupt the Paintress, who year by year has been erasing entire ages of people, leading the French-styled civilization to absolute ruin. It boasts an incredible cast like Jennifer English, well known for her titular role as Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3, Charlie Cox, who's also currently starring in the new Daredevil, Final Fantasy XVI's own Ben Starr, Devora Wild, Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3, Andy Serkis, one of the pioneers of mocap, probably best known for his stunning portrayal of Gollum, all among several other all-star actors, many of whom you will know from games that you have played or TV shows or movies you have watched. When I say this is an all-star cast, it really is. And I think showing that early on, the casting, just how much focus they're putting on the casting. Oh yeah, and just the fact that they already have a deal for a live action movie version of this game before the game even launches. Well, I think that shows just how much they're putting into the storytelling of the game and how much of it they want this to have an emotional punch. And it does, so far. Sandfall Interactive is a brand new studio, founded in France in 2020, and this is their first game, made up of a small but mighty team headed by former Ubisoft developers. And from what I've seen and played of Expedition 33 so far, this studio is going to be one to watch, because holy shit, this game left me speechless in my first 6 hours of playing it. And there is the rub. When I say my first 6 hours of playing it, because this is not the complete game. This is not a review of the complete game. This is basically the first impressions from the preview demo we got before the game launches in April. This is the version of the game that all the other content creators have been able to play. It's not complete. And one of the things that we all know, having seen any movie, read any book, or played any game, is the opening act can sometimes be better than the rest of the book. Looking at you, Game of Thrones Season 8. So just keep all of that in mind, that this is the start of the game, and given what we were able to see, there are still potential pitfalls that could really derail the train that this game is on. But that's pretty much going to be the end of my negatives, because I'm just going to go through this whole video basically glazing this game. So buckle in. I want to start with two things that go hand in hand: the phenomenal visuals and the incredible world building. The game makes a lot out of a little. It opens up the sometimes compact level design with stunning vistas, beautiful scenery, and a heavy and wonderful use of visual effects floating around in the air, whether it's leaves, bubbles, or honestly, God knows what else, given the dark and bloody tone the game sets early on. I'm not kidding. I'm not gonna like, again, I'm not gonna show you the things because I want to preserve story, but there are juices that may exist in the air given the tone of this game. Juices. I hate that I picked the word juices. But I do still want to highlight some of those visuals, like the ambient visuals and the broad vistas, specifically because they do a lot of heavy lifting to make the game feel more alive than its more narrow level building would suggest. And it feels much larger than it is within those levels. Like, this just looks incredible, this shot right here. It looks like a screenshot that they would use to market the game. Or this one, which I think is really helped just by having things in front of your camera, between the camera and your character. Water bubbles. And if you're wondering why I keep saying levels, that's actually part of how this game is designed. Within the preview I played, I went to several different areas. Some were linked together, one after the other, with large play areas, though often feeling pretty linear without a ton of offshoots or untrodden paths. This is not really feeling like a super open world game. There are still rewards for exploring, but if you're looking for the kind of exploration rewards of game like Avowed, or even more open world like Skyrim, this isn't it. This is more of a level-based game. Now, the game does open up into a large open world map that is different from the levels, and the map itself feels like the logical evolution of old JRPG world maps where you traveled along roads to the next hub. It zooms out and looks almost isometric, but you can interact with that open world too. You can fight enemies, even create magical bridges, and you have the freedom to go wherever you want. You also, honestly, have the freedom to completely ignore when the game is clearly telling you that the level you are about to enter is dangerous and you should probably not go in. Said near the weird corals and a door. So I'm guessing this. Danger? Do we do it? We do it. We go to the danger. Ooh, this is cool. It's crazy to me now, like, thinking about how many different kind of biomes we're seeing already. There's a flag. The fuck? Why are there sheep? And rabbits. All full. All full. Why the fuck are these? What? What the hell? This is so weird. Okay. Is it wearing the pink flowers? Okay, sorry, but it's time. Oh shit, okay.
Yes.
Do you see how much?
I don't think I'm supposed to be here yet. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I couldn't resist, and it makes sense because I did this in Avowed.
I mean, there's really only one thing we can do, right? Like, we gotta. Oh, fuck!
You're one of those people who takes requests, not orders, aren't you?
Shut up, Kai.
So yeah, I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, but I do appreciate that they give you the opportunity to be an idiot, you know? Basically, exploring the world is fun, but it is not in any way, shape, or form a game that I would describe as open world. It has some hallmarks of that, but it's not. This is a level-based linear JRPG with some choice that you can make in how you travel and where you go, and I'm curious to see exactly how that works out longer if you don't kind of go the path that you're expected to go, and how that will impact. Like, if I could have beaten that enemy that I went to go fight, what would have happened, kind of thing. And at least I got to see this really cool enemy design, something you'll probably be saying a lot throughout, because my god, this game isn't just beautiful and well crafted, the art direction is freaking awesome, and the character designs are truly out of this world, striking and unmistakable. As you're going through the world, you'll encounter a variety of enemy types, all with their own unique feel. Flying enemies require ranged attacks, for example. Some enemies have weaknesses that you can shoot. Yes, shoot. There is a function of third-person shooting in this game within the turn-based combat. As you kill these enemies, you gain experience and loot, and if you're the grindy type, you'll be glad to know that you can respawn these enemies by going back to a camp out in the world. In that way, it's kind of the opposite of Avowed with its deliberate non-respawning enemies, or Baldur's Gate 3 with its non-respawning enemies. Weapon types are locked, but you could get some awesome visuals upgrading even within the demo. You'll also be able to upgrade these weapons at your own camp with different materials. I was very curious to see how things would work out when we got word that there would be QTEs, or quick time events, in their turn-based combat, wondering how it would work out. How would they marry these two components to make a combat that feels satisfying, both for fans of JRPGs and people who are looking for something a bit more interactive, a bit faster paced. And the results, well, honestly, it feels absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so now I want to do, because I want to go into Swift Stride. And now I'm in Virtuoso stance. Ah, damn it.
Did I get double? Yeah! Holy shit, that's amazing! Double parry! Get fucked! Oh, hell yeah. Okay. It's okay. I was on the fence. I was on the fence about the quick time actions in a turn-based game. This is fun as shit. Like, it really is. Holy crap. It's exhilarating. Okay. Let's just attack. There we go. Okay, now I want to do this one. Fleuret Fury. she's badass. The basis of combat is what you would expect in a turn-based JRPG. You select your skills, you build up resources through the battle, and you can use items from your turn, waiting your turn and rolling out different attacks from all of your companions, and wielding them all together. In that sense, it feels like your standard Final Fantasy or Legend of Legaia. If Legend of Legaia like made something tick in your brain, let me know down in the comment section below. On the offensive side, you have fairly easy QTEs. Well, easy for people that are not me anyway, that enhance your abilities, making them stronger. It's more important to note that you can miss a lot of these QTEs and your abilities will still be functional, or at least the ones that I got at the time during this preview, just not as strong as if I had managed to hit all of them. But where I think these QTEs really shine is in the reactive portion of it, dodging, parrying, and jumping. In this clip I'm showing right here, I'm completely on defense. I'm parrying attacks and getting a counter attack because of those parries, which is absolutely devastating to my enemy. From there, one of the other enemies does a jump attack, and I have to time it and then jump and then counter attack with another QTE for more damage. All of this is still kind of optional. It's not required, but unlike the offensive abilities, not getting dodges or parries or jumps is significantly more impactful, and not being able to do them would probably make this, even the easiest settings in this game, feel like a hard mode, if it's even possible. So I guess I'm kind of counteracting myself saying it's optional. It's really not optional here. It's a part of the combat. So I think if you're averse to QTEs, which you will be doing you will be doing them every single defensive turn at the very least, I think that that's something to know going into this game. You will need to do these QTEs in the game, and you'll need to time them a little bit. But I personally absolutely loved it. I loved trying to get down the timing of all the dodges, and when I succeeded, when I got those dodges or when I got that parry, it felt good. It felt really, really good to have succeeded on it, because it's not super easy, at least not for me. There's just something very crunchy and fun about it. If you've ever played a game like Elden Ring, you know the thrill of getting a well-timed attack or parry. It's not nearly as white knuckle as that, though there were times like this fight right here where I was very, very tense, knowing a single missed dodge would have meant death. Because you see, this fight, this challenging fight that I was having, I was dealing with the fact that most of my party had been incapacitated. At the same time, one hit from the enemy would have decimated me, leaving the party incapacitated in its entirety and ending the combat and sending me back, having lost. You're not burning anymore, so we're just gonna do a regular attack. No, you can't eat two of my party members. You're already eating one of my party members. That's unfair. That's ridiculous. That's gluttonous. How dare you? How dare you? Rude. Incredibly rude. I need one more for overcharge. Just don't die to this. Dodge, 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 dodge. There we go. Whew. Okay. Overcharge. $2,400 or $2,400. 2,400 damage. The QTEs feel like seasoning on the well-established JRPG turn-based tactical combat. It increases the flavor without losing the strength of the base. The last thing I want to talk about, and I'll be brief here because I don't want to show too much B-roll because it'd be too spoilery, but the acting and the animations have been absolutely fantastic. From the jump, the game starts with an intriguing and mysterious premise, throws a huge shock factor event at you, complete with emotional weight that weighs very, very heavily upon you, and then carries it through with some fantastic performances. The story and the acting of this game feels like the kind of game that is going to leave me in tears by the end of it. This is not the kind of RPG that has you're basically open-ended endings from what I can tell. It's more of an RPG with a driven narrative, like one of my all-time favorites, like a Final Fantasy X. It feels like I'm leading towards this ultimate storytelling event of the game that I'm not going to be able to completely and utterly alter, which is totally fine because it is a driven narrative in that vein. There are things in this, little small things that go beyond just storytelling in games and reach into the realm of cinematography. The amount of emotion that is conveyed in this scene, I've cropped to avoid spoilers, goes right down to the shake of their eyes. That kind of detail might not be hugely impactful for a lot of people who play the game, but holy crap, it makes a huge difference for me. There's so much human emotion and art seeping out of this game, and it has catapulted up my rankings through this preview. If you like JRPGs, if you like emotional storytelling, I get the feeling that you will like this game. It's a game that I've seen compared to Persona, like a French version of Persona, many times. So if you like Persona, I think that's another way that you will enjoy this game. I have not played Persona because I'm daunted by the amount of hours it takes, and that might be another thing that might actually make you a little bit less daunted with this game, because I believe it's supposed to be about a 30-hour campaign or longer if you do every bit of side and optional content. So it's a bit more bite-sized, a bit like Avowed is a bit more bite-sized, although at this point I'm at almost 50 hours on Avowed, so maybe I'm just slow. But many thanks to Sandfall Interactive for giving a content creator like myself the opportunity to do a preview of this. It was one of those things that was very, I think, wonderful for me to see, that this game opened up to content creators of all size, not just the largest content creators, not just well-established content creators, but let many of us go and make content for this game in the lead up to the game launching on April 24th, 2025. I am very happy that I got this opportunity to not just play the game, but share my experience with you and hopefully give you a little bit of an eye towards the game before you go ahead and purchase, wishlist, or decide it's not for you. But if you want to get the bigger picture of it, like the actual full-on spoilers, everything picture of it, you can watch my several hour-long preview of it right here, and you can skip around and see exactly how things were going and how I was interacting and reacting to the game at that time. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to leave you with one of the cooler things from the game: being able to play music, picking music, and playing it in your camp. Something I hope that is expanded upon as you get deeper in the game. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
We can play music?
Is it playing? Yep.